Let me tell you something they never understood. Your silence was never a sign of weakness. It was a season of preparation, not defeat. While the world was talking you were becoming, they judged you by what they saw on the surface. They never saw the battles you were winning in private. And today, this message is for everyone who stayed quiet but never quit. They laughed because you stayed quiet. They assumed you were afraid. But silence was never your weakness. It was your preparation. You didn't explain yourself. You didn't fight back. You chose silence, not because you were weak, but because you were building strength. When God keeps you silent, it's not punishment, it's training. Those who doubted you are about to witness your elevation. They saw you quiet and assumed you were losing. They thought silence meant fear or confusion. What they never realized is that silence can be discipline. It can be the space where focus is born. You weren't absent from the fight. You were choosing a different battlefield, one where growth happens quietly, one where strength is built without noise. While others were explaining themselves to the world, you were learning to explain yourself to your purpose. You stopped wasting energy on proving people wrong. Instead, you invested it in becoming better. Every quiet day added clarity to your vision. Every ignored moment sharpened your patience. You understood that real power doesn't rush. It waits until the timing is perfect. There were nights when doubt whispered loudly, moments when silence felt heavy and lonely. But even then, you didn't quit. You stayed consistent when no one was watching. You chose discipline over drama. You chose growth over applause. That choice separated you from the crowd. And slowly, it started shaping your destiny. People often underestimate what they cannot see. They measure strength by noise and confidence by volume. But true preparation rarely makes a sound. It happens in early mornings and late nights. It happens in sacrifice and self-control. You were not hiding, you were refining. Every silent step was intentional. Every move was aligned with something bigger. Your silence protected you from unnecessary battles. It saved you from distraction disguised as opinions. Not everyone deserved access to your journey. Not everyone needed to understand your process. You learned that peace is also progress, and patience is also power. The quieter you became, the clearer you saw. The clearer you saw, the stronger you grew. There was a moment you realized something important. You don't need to announce your comeback. You don't need validation to keep moving forward. Results speak louder than arguments ever could. Growth speaks louder than explanations. Success doesn't knock loudly when it arrives. It simply shows up undeniable, and that moment is closer than it appears. They may still doubt you today. They may still question your pace, but they don't see the foundation you've built. They don't see the discipline behind your calm. You're no longer moved by their opinions. You're guided by vision, not noise. You trust the process even when it's slow, because you know slow growth lasts longer. Every delay taught you resilience. Every setback trained your character. You stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What is this teaching me?" That shift changed everything. Pain became preparation instead of punishment. Waiting became training instead of frustration. And silence became your secret weapon. Now the season is changing. The same silence that confused them will shock them. The same calm they mocked will command respect. You won't need to explain how far you've come. Your growth will be visible without words. Your progress will answer every doubt. Your consistency will silence every critic. This is the rise they never expected. So keep walking quietly but confidently. Let your work speak before your voice does. Let your results introduce you to the world. You were never weak, only patient. You were never lost, only preparing. Your silence was part of the plan, and now your time has come. Rise without noise, but with power. There were days when progress felt invisible. Nothing seemed to change on the outside. But inside, something was shifting quietly. Your mindset was maturing with every challenge. You stopped reacting and started responding with wisdom. That inner growth mattered more than quick results, because what grows slowly builds deeper roots. And deep roots survive every storm. You learned not to chase attention anymore. Attention fades, but purpose remains. You chose meaning over momentary praise. That decision saved you from empty victories. Silence taught you to hear your own voice clearly. It helped you separate truth from distraction. Now you move with intention, not impulse. Every step you take has direction. Not everyone who doubts you is your enemy. Some people are simply blind to potential. They judge based on the present, not the future. You stop trying to convince them otherwise. Instead, you allow time to reveal the truth. Time has a way of exposing effort, and effort never stays hidden forever. It always shows up as results. The quiet seasons were uncomfortable. They forced you to face yourself honestly. You confronted your fears without an audience. You corrected habits that were holding you back. That internal work wasn't easy or glamorous, but it was necessary for the next level. Growth demanded responsibility before recognition, and you accepted that price willingly. You stopped measuring yourself by other people's timelines. You realized comparison only steals focus. Everyone's journey unfolds differently. Some bloom early, others bloom strong. You chose to trust your own pace. You understood that rushing can ruin foundations. So you stayed steady instead of fast. That steadiness became your advantage. Silence also taught you emotional control. You no longer react to every opinion. You learned when to speak and when to observe. That awareness gave you an edge. People underestimated you because you stayed calm. They didn't realize calmness is confidence. It's the confidence of someone prepared. Someone who knows what's coming. There were moments when quitting felt easier. Moments when no one would have blamed you. But you stayed loyal to your vision. You remembered why you started in the first place. Purpose kept you moving when motivation faded. Discipline carried you when feelings couldn't. That loyalty built unstoppable momentum. Momentum that can't be broken easily. You began to understand delayed rewards. Not everything valuable comes quickly. Some rewards require endurance and faith. You learned to work without immediate feedback. You learned to believe without visible proof. That belief strengthened your resilience. Now, setbacks don't shake you anymore. They only sharpen your resolve. The world respects outcomes, not explanations. You stopped telling people what you planned to do. You focused on doing it instead. Quiet execution replaced loud promises. Every small win added confidence. Every failure added experience. Together, they shaped a stronger version of you, one that doesn't seek approval anymore. Your silence filtered your circle. Those who stayed believed without proof. Those who left made space for growth. You realize solitude isn't always loneliness. Sometimes it's alignment. It's life removing distractions on your behalf. What remains is clarity and clarity. And focus. Exactly what you need to rise. Now you move differently than before. Your actions are calculated, not rushed. You've learned the value of patience. You no longer chase opportunities blindly. You prepare until opportunities chase you. That shift changed your entire direction. Confidence replaced anxiety, and purpose replaced pressure. You understand that success is quiet at first. It whispers before it roars. It tests commitment before giving rewards. You passed those tests in silence. You stayed consistent without applause. That consistency built unshakable confidence. Now when results appear, they will last because they're built on discipline. People will ask how you stayed so calm. They won't understand the storms you survived. They didn't see the moments you almost broke. But strength doesn't need witnesses. It only needs commitment. You carried your struggles with dignity. That dignity protected your focus. And focus protected your future. The same silence that isolated you refined you. It stripped away ego and impatience. It taught you humility without weakness. You learned to wait without resentment. That maturity set you apart. Now you're ready for responsibility, not just success. Ready for impact, not just attention. Ready for what comes next. Your rise won't be loud or chaotic. It will be calm, steady, and undeniable. People won't hear it coming. They'll simply notice the results. You won't need revenge or validation. Your growth will be enough. Your journey will speak for itself, and your silence will finally make sense. You stopped needing people to understand you. Understanding became optional, not necessary. You realized clarity comes from action, not explanation. The less you talked, the more focused you became. Focus turned into consistency. Consistency turned into quiet confidence. That confidence doesn't announce itself. It simply shows up prepared. You learn to sit with discomfort. Not every season feels rewarding. Some seasons exist only to strengthen you. You embraced the work even when it felt heavy. You honored the process even when it hurt. That endurance shaped your character. Character became your real advantage, an advantage no one can take away. Silence gave you space to think clearly, away from opinions, expectations, and noise. You discovered what truly matters to you. Not what impresses others, but what fulfills you. That clarity changed your priorities. You began building with intention. Every decision started to align with purpose. And alignment created momentum. You noticed how easily people talk about quitting, how quickly they abandon hard paths. You chose to stay when leaving was tempting. That decision separated you from the average. Average quits when progress is slow. You stayed committed when results were invisible. That commitment hardened your discipline. Discipline made you reliable. There was a time you questioned your own strength. Silence made you face those doubts directly. You didn't run from them. You confronted them with action. Each small win rebuilt your belief. Each failure taught you precision. Slowly, confidence replaced confusion, and belief replaced fear. You stopped reacting to disrespect. Not because it didn't hurt, but because you valued your peace more. Peace became a priority, not a luxury. With peace came sharper focus. With focus came better decisions. Better decisions led to progress. Progress silenced every doubt. You learned that preparation is lonely. Most people don't stay long in quiet seasons. They crave noise and reassurance. You craved growth instead. You trusted what you were building, even when no one applauded. That trust matured into self-belief. Self-belief became your foundation. Your silence helped you listen more. You observed patterns others ignored. You noticed habits that created success. and habits that destroyed potential. That awareness sharpened your choices. You became intentional with your time. Time stopped slipping away unnoticed. It started working in your favor. You understood that pressure reveals priorities. Under pressure, excuses fall apart. You chose responsibility instead of blame. You took ownership of your situation. Ownership gave you control. Control brought confidence. Confidence changed your posture, and people began to feel your presence. You stopped expecting immediate rewards. You trained yourself for long-term results. That patience gave you emotional strength. You learned to delay gratification. While others sought comfort, you chose growth. That choice wasn't easy, but it was powerful, and power always comes with discipline. You realized silence protects energy. Energy once wasted on arguments was now invested. Invested in learning, refining, and building. You grew without announcing progress. You moved without explaining direction. That secrecy wasn't fear, it was strategy. A strategy that worked. You became comfortable being underestimated. Underestimation removed pressure. Pressure-free growth allowed creativity. Creativity improved your execution. Execution built real confidence. Not the loud kind, but the grounded kind. The kind that doesn't shake easily. The kind that lasts. You noticed how silence changed your mindset. You stopped seeking approval. You stopped fearing judgment. You focused on standards instead of opinions. Standards demanded discipline. Discipline demanded sacrifice. Sacrifice shaped resilience. Resilience shaped success. The quiet work started to compound. Small efforts stacked into big progress. What once felt slow became unstoppable. Momentum began to build naturally. You didn't force it. You allowed it to grow. Now stopping feels harder than continuing. That's the power of consistency. Your rise won't shock because it's flashy. It will shock because it's undeniable. People will replay your journey in their minds. They'll remember how quiet you were, how underestimated you seemed, and they'll finally understand the truth. Silence was never weakness. It was preparation for this moment. You no longer rush to prove yourself. Proof comes naturally when work is consistent. You learn that patience is a form of strength. It keeps you steady when others panic. Silence helped you master that patience. You stopped forcing outcomes. You focused on effort instead. Effort always finds its moment. You realized that growth often feels boring. It lacks excitement and instant feedback. But boring routines build extraordinary results. You committed to showing up daily. Not when you felt inspired. That discipline reshaped your identity. You became someone who finishes, someone who follows through. Silence removed unnecessary competition. You stopped racing against others. You started running your own race. That shift freed your mind. Freedom brought creativity. Creativity improved your solutions. Better solutions brought progress. Progress strengthened your belief. You accepted that not everyone will clap. Some people only notice success at the end. You made peace with that reality. You stopped seeking applause mid-journey. Your focus turned inward. Inner alignment replaced external validation. That alignment sharpened your direction. Direction gave you momentum. You became comfortable with delayed recognition. You trusted the value of unseen effort. You understood that foundations stay hidden. But they determine how high you can rise. You strengthened your base patiently, brick by brick, day by day. Now your structure is solid, and nothing shakes it easily. You noticed how silence built emotional strength. You no longer react impulsively. You pause, think, and respond wisely. That control gives you advantage. People underestimate calm individuals. They mistake calm for weakness. But calm is controlled power. Power waiting for the right moment. You stopped announcing goals. You started delivering results. That shift protected your energy. It kept you grounded and focused. You learned that progress loves privacy. It grows faster without pressure. Silence became your shield, and discipline became your weapon. You learned that every quiet season has an end. No preparation lasts forever. Eventually, opportunity meets readiness. That moment cannot be forced. It arrives naturally. Because you stayed ready, you won't rush. You'll move with confidence. And confidence makes impact. People will notice the change in you. Not because you explain it, but because you embody it. Your presence will feel different. Your decisions will feel deliberate. Your actions will reflect clarity. That clarity will command respect. Respect you never asked for. This is where silence turns into strength, where patience turns into progress, where preparation turns into elevation. You didn't wait in vain. You waited with intention. Now the moment is aligned. Step forward without fear. Your time to rise has come. So if you're still in silence, don't panic. Silence doesn't mean delay. It means preparation. You were never forgotten, only being refined. And when your moment arrives, you won't need to explain anything, because the same silence they doubted will become the strength they can't ignore. Keep going. Stay focused. Stay ready. Your time to rise is now. Silence isn't the absence of power. It's power waiting for the right moment.